Williams.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. Thank goodness for that. And I must say, I mean, what I'm amazed about from those opposite Madam Deputy President is the truth gets handled very carelessly.
Indeed it does.
I mean, here's a case where Senator Cash was at estimates. We're all there. We all heard about it. Have you finished? Have you finished?
Order. Order. Order, Senator O'Neill and Senator Williams, please address your comments to the chair. Thank you.
I would love to do that, Madam Deputy President, if Senator O'Neill wasn't objecting from the other side. I'm sure you will not let her do that again, Madam Deputy President. I wouldn't have to address her, that is for sure. But
Senator O'Neill.
She's been naughty.
Thank you, Senator Williams.
Throw her out.
Thank you, Madam Deputy President. So it comes to handle the truth. I mean, I gave it when in question time and asked a question to Senator Birmingham. I was just amazed, setting up at Bundara Saturday morning in the early hours.
How many votes? Labor votes?
Labor got 44 votes there. Senator O'Sullivan, 44 votes, and this lady there seemed quite a decent lady, Robin. And everyone who's walking in to vote, she's saying the coalition government, the National Party, have cut $300,000 out of the spending financing of the Bundara school. Nice little school, great little community, Bundara. I spent many, many days of my life down at Bundara with friends, had a few beers in the pub there. And I said to this lady, that is not true. So I actually rang Senator Birmingham. He said, Wagga, I'll get to the details, which he did. Amazing, and I'll get back to the point about being honest and speaking the truth. $464,000 this year is the federal funding for Bundara School. Good lot of money. It goes up to $703,000 within 10 years. That's almost double. And I said to this lady, you can't keep doing this, you can't keep saying the wrong things, you can't keep giving false, misleading propaganda. Propaganda is what you'd call it, to the people coming here to vote. Of course, here was a sign, Save Medicare, vote Labor. Now, at that last election, a Mediscare, where the Turnbull coalition government was going to privatise Medicare, and I said to the lady, if you owned a coffee shop and it took $10,000 gross income a week, but it cost you $21,000 a week to operate that coffee shop, would you sell it? I said, you wouldn't be able to sell it. No one would buy it. It loses $11,000 a week. It was the same with Medicare. We collect around $10 billion Medicare levy a year, and it costs around $21 billion to run Medicare. I bet you Senator Griff wouldn't like to own a business like that, lose $11 billion a year. That would not be a good business, would it, Senator Griff? But this is what happens, and in here in question time today, these accusations that Minister Cash has misled the Senate, that is simply wrong. She's been totally honest with her answers. She's clarified that on many occasions. Back to the question from Senator O'Neill about John Barilaro, Deputy Premier and Nationals leader in New South Wales. I've known Barrow, as we call him, for a long time, good mate of mine. And I vehemently disagree with what John Barilaro said about the Prime Minister.
He tells the truth.
I vehemently disagree with him. And I'm sure that Senator Farrell is getting quite worried because the polls are starting to turn, Senator Farrell. The polls are starting to turn. That's what's going to happen. And people are going to realise that you lot, I mean, Mr Shorten's poll down again this morning. And it was great to have the Prime Minister in New England on Saturday night when they counted the votes. And guess what? Senator Cameron going up to New England campaigning for the Labor candidate. He did, Senator O'Sullivan. Where was Mr Shorten? We never saw Mr Shorten in New England. It was too far for him to travel. He probably didn't know where it was. And what was the vote of the Labor Party in New England? 11% primary. Fancy getting 11 out of every 100 people to vote for the Labor Party. It was an increase in the last election, by the way. The vote went up to 11%. Quite amazing. Of course, people in New England know what Labor's about.
That's only one.
They still remember when the live cattle exports were banned that brought the beef industry to its knees in the country towns. The abattoirs where I work actually made a field day out of it because they had to truck the cattle so far across Australia they couldn't export them. Terribly cruel on the cattle. They know what the Labor Party's about, what they think of regional Australia. Never built one mobile tower in 6 years. Not one. We've built 672 new and upgraded mobile towers, and more to come. So the truth was always handled carelessly by Labor. They're doing it in question time again here today, and Nothing will change, and the people are waking up to you, and we're going to make them fully
Thank
aware
you,
of
Senator
your
Williams.
dishonest
Your time has expired.